Warriors shock the Bullets. 75 Warriors continues. Here's Bill King.
The Warriors advanced to the NBA Finals for the first time since 1967 and drew as their opponents the very powerful Washington Bullets, faced by Wesley Unseld and Elvin Hayes. There was an arena scheduling conflict that allowed K.C. Jones, the coach of the Bullets, to make his choice whether to open the series at Golden State and then take 3 back to Capitol Center, or open at Capitol Center and play number 2 and 3 at the Cow Palace. K.C. chose the latter. Now, the Bullets were a team with very few weaknesses. After all, they did win 60 games compared to the Warriors' 48 in the regular season. They knocked off the defending champion Boston Celtics in the playoffs, which speaks for itself. And in the NBA Finals, they really were considered dominant favorites. Again, the underdog Warriors were going to have to come together to overachieve.
Early in the third quarter of Game 1, the Warriors found themselves down by 16 points. The Warrior bench, particularly Charles Dudley and Phil Smith, paced a comeback. The 6-point Warrior victory was not shocking to Smith, who played great defense and scored 20 points.
To me, it wasn't a surprise. It was just a matter of saying, hey, let's step up. We have heart. Let's go out there and compete and see what happens.
Games 2 and 3 were played at the Cow Palace in San Francisco because the Coliseum was hosting an ice show. Again, the Warriors would have to come back, this time from 13 points. The stars were number 40, Derek Dickey, and Keith Wilkes. Defensively, they combined to hold Elvin Hayes to just 15 points.
That, to me, is what helped us win the game. You know, the defense that Jamal played, the defense I was fortunate enough to play, these two guys played against Wes Unseld. I mean, we did our roles, we did our jobs combined as a unit, and that's what helped us win the game, not scoring.
The scoring came from Wilkes, who poured in 14 points, and Rick Barry, who scored a game-high 36. The Warriors would again rely on their defense in the closing minutes. With a 1-point lead, Coach Al Attles would rally the team just prior to the Bullets' final possession.
Everybody stay with their own man. If they come off a screen, switch it, and somebody gets the man who switches, the screen and go through. Now, on Chenier, when the ball comes in, especially on Porter, everybody can't converge on him because he dumps the ball out. If he makes a jump shot, let him beat us with it.
Bullet coach K.C. Jones had another strategy.
You know, we're playing around a regular 1C. Regular 1C. You got 23 seconds. If he's not overplaying you. If he's overplaying it, then we're going to West with it, to Mike with it.
Porter against C.J. in front, 19 seconds. Porter reverse pivot. Feed Unseld high. George Johnson challenges. Unseld double team for the moment. Now we have 12 seconds. A lot of time for it. The Chenier on top. Chenier reverses. Double team. Triple team. Over to Reardon on the right. Shoots over Barry hurriedly. In and out. Right break. Hayes rebounds. Hayes shoots. He's missed it. Rebounded George Johnson. And the Warriors have it. The game is over.
The shocking 92-91 win put Golden State up 2-0. There was a different pattern in Game 3 as the Warriors led most of the way. Defender Derek Dickey shot 74% during the series and in this game scored 14 points.
Double D from the University of Cincinnati. He is now 11 for 12 in the series. Here over to Dickey beyond the line. Jumper good. Dickey, a 7-6-footer.
Rick Barry, who would be named Series MVP, was all over the court. The Warrior captain seized the national spotlight. His 38 points lit up the Bullets, who were helpless in defending him.
You know, I felt very confident going into that series. I knew Mike Reardon couldn't guard me, and I just didn't think in watching the stuff that they could beat our ball club, so that's why I was very confident.
It's over. The Warriors lead 3-0. They have turned back the Bullets. They've defended the home court advantage. They need one more. Final score, Warriors 109, Bullets 101.
May 25th, 1975, Game 4 at Capitol Center. No team in the history of the NBA had ever come back from a 3-0 deficit. Washington would eventually build a 14-point lead. But early in the first quarter, the Bullets tried to intimidate.
Very crowded by Reardon, who fouls him. Reardon was manhandling him into near fight. Alvin Attles was out to break up the fight, and Attles now is in a wild slugging match.
Coach Attles' ejection inspired the comeback. The 1-point win was in doubt until the final seconds.
Here, shoots. No good. Rebound.
it's really strange because of the fact that when we won the championship in Washington, D.C., Rick Barry was the first guy who hugged me after I shot the free throws, and I will always remember that.
Good! And the Warriors lead by 3. Zelko jumping. Good makes the pass to Mullins. Barry! Barry's got it! The ball game is over! The ball game is over! And Al Reynolds, Golden State Warriors, are champions of the world! They are the unbelievable champions of the world! The Cinderellas of the sports world!
Well, there's no question about it. We pull together all along, and as we said, in training camp, we win together or we lose together, and I think that we won together.
This has been such a fantasy year. I mean, the way we started out as opposed to the also-rans, and we battled and scratched and fight our way to become the world champions. It's a fitting climax, I think, for one of the most unique teams in pro basketball history. A team that has guys who care about one another as individuals, guys who will never quit, never give up.
Well, I think the mark of a good basketball team or any good athlete is when you can come back in the face of adversity. I thought that we were down in quite a few basketball games, but we held together, and I think we have the unity to being a good basketball team. I think that this year, at least, we're the #1 team in the NBA.
Welcome back. Togetherness, the story of the 75 Warriors continues.
One more visit back to the book and a look back to the finals and a closer look at those crucial early minutes of game number 4 with the Warriors going in leading 3-0. Coach Al Attles watched most of this very dramatic victory on a very small television set in the Warriors visitors' locker room. Assistant coach Joe Roberts was running the team on the floor, guiding them to the win in the championship. It all began with 8:22 remaining in the first quarter. That was when Mike Reardon half-punched, half-headlocked Rick Barry. Attles raced from courtside to intervene. It certainly looked like a fight. When he got there, it turned into an all-out melee.
Ray give the ball to Barry. Barry still hasn't shot. Barry crowded by Reardon, who fouls him. Reardon was manhandling him into a near fight. Reardon trying to get away, and Alvin Attles was out to break up the fight, and Attles now is in a wild slugging match. The 245-pound Wesley Unseld started to trade punches with Attles. Attles was out purely as a peacemaker, and Attles is being dragged away by his assistant coach, Joe Roberts. Barry is still trying to keep Attles away. Attles has got the technical now. You have to know this was a violent and flagrant act by Mike Reardon to draw that kind of attention from Al Attles. Barry is telling Manny Sokol that he has handled it badly. Richie Powers takes Al Attles over to talk to him now.
You want to control the game?
I'm out the game, right?
Yes, you are. You have to. What about Reardon?
Attles, one of the great gentlemen of the game. He has been given a technical. Reardon has not been thrown out.
And you're out of the game. Yes, foul was on Reardon.
He's thrown Attles out of the game. This is disgraceful. Richie Powers has just committed, I think, the most disgraceful decision of a very distinguished officiating career. I cannot believe this.
Is that the one moment when people think of Al Attles they think of initially, Bill?
I think probably so, because it was in the game that climaxed this miraculous upset that nobody could have foreseen. I think it epitomized his commitment to his players, the emotion, which, although as a coach he kept contained where it should be contained, but in this instance it went over the line. It's really, I think, a perfect illustration of what the guy was all about.
You agree, Al?
Well, all I know is that you don't do anything intentionally. You do it because that's what happens. And so it was a situation that presented itself. I went out, and I wasn't trying to do anything any differently than I would have done for any other player. But I always struggle when I think that somebody's trying to do something to anybody that I consider one of my players. And people think that it was kind of calculated on my part. It wasn't calculated.
Calculated on their part.
Oh no, I didn't say, well, I know they're trying to get Rick out of the game, but I was getting out there because I knew the situation, and I reversed it, and I would do the exact same thing. So I was really proud, because what it proved is what we're talking about now. It was a total team effort, and it wasn't about who got credit for what. It was the fact that we all did what we thought we could do to help win that series, and we all did.
Next,